Hey everybody, Chris Lancette from Orion's Attic with another green choice moment in the work that we do, liquidating estates and cleaning out houses. One of the most common problems that homeowners of all kinds have are things like this. We're liquidating the estate, we're cleaning out the house, we're selling your good stuff, we're donating everything possible, and then, yeesh, the inevitable wall of chemicals that are in garages and under cabinets and in cabinets and on top of cabinets and hidden everywhere. It's a big, smelly, stinky, sweaty mess. And we think, ugh, this is our least favorite part of the job, dealing with this. And it can also be time consuming and expensive. There has to be a better way. Instead of us going to the landfill and properly disposing of this and recycling it, there is another way. Each time you think, yuck, old paint, look who's here. It is our newest and most awesome green friend, Raea from
Yuck Old Paint.
What a perfect name.
Thank you, Chris.
What do you do? What does Yuck Old Paint do?
I'm so glad you asked, and we are so happy to be here with you today. Look at this beautiful wall of yuck. This is the stuff that we love to do, and we are not afraid of this. What we do is we go to your home or your place of business, and we safely remove all of these liquid, hazardous, and universal waste chemicals. We qualify them for reuse or recycle, and then we distribute them and divert them away from the local landfills. The purpose and mission of our company is to keep as many of these yucky materials out of and away from the local landfills in the DMV.
That is so awesome. And obviously that fits in with our mission as the green choice for estate liquidation and home cleanout projects. But a lot of people may not understand why it's so important to properly handle these instead of doing, sadly, what too many people do, which is try to throw them in a black bag and sneak them in the dump. Why is it important to handle these the right way?
I completely understand, and I'm glad you asked. It's actually, there's a lot of confusion out there in the marketplace. People will say, Raea, I don't understand. This is water-based paint. This is low VOC paint. How is this bad for the environment? Well, actually, the pigment in the paint is actually extremely toxic. So even though this is just a can of paint, and I bought it so easily at your Home Depot or your favorite paint store, when it comes time to dispose of it, this is no longer just a can of paint. This is now a Class 3 EPA hazardous waste. And because it's liquid, and because paint can stain roadways, the insides of a garbage truck, therefore it is a hazardous waste. And we have to think about paint and these other common household items very differently when it comes time to dispose of them.
One of the things that I got so excited about when I found out about your company was that despite your name, which is awesome, you handle more than just paint, depending on where you are, recognizing that you serve many municipalities in many places and the rules are different.
Yeah.
But in general, can you just hit a couple of bullet points of the key things that you take and then the key things that you don't take?
Correct. I'm so glad you asked. So yes, we take a lot of the common paint cans that you have in your home. We also take wood stains, deck stains, clear coats, that Thompson's water sealer that you may have used a long time ago when your deck first got built or restained. We also handle a lot of other common items found in the utility room and under the kitchen sink. Pine sol, Windex, bleach, ammonia. These things, although common, you cannot throw them and pitch them into the dump. These are still considered hazardous waste materials.
And the things that you don't take, just hit a couple of them for us and explain why neither you nor I can take them.
Correct. So we cannot take a few items. We can take almost everything, but not everything. But so for example, we cannot take propane tanks because our trucks are not DOT compliant. We cannot take gasoline because again, our trucks are not DOT compliant. Believe it or not, if you are a household that has a pool a pond, a spa, or a hot tub, those chemicals that are used to clean up a hot tub, we also cannot take because a special license is required to move those and haul those on the roadway. So that's best to leave behind for the pool service company that already services your pool.
Perfect. You answered my next question because my wife and I deal with that with our pool. I want to ask you one question on a more personal level. I know for us that the work that we do to help families in all kinds of ways also includes our very intense and sincere environmental ethic. And we take a lot of pride at keeping stuff out of landfill. And now because we know you, we can do more. But just at a personal level, what does your work mean to you and what motivates you to do it?
Gosh, that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Chris. We know that as we learn more about how dear and sacred our natural earth resources are, we have become more sensitive to being ever mindful of what we do when we are finished with some of these products. We need these products, so we are not saying stop buying paint. We are not saying stop buying that can of charcoal lighter fluid. We are not saying stop buying the bug spray for your backyard. These are necessary things to help us make comfortable and create a beautiful house into a home. But when it comes time to get rid of them, we can do better. And so this is one of the ways in which we can help you be more thoughtful and mindful of when it comes time to dispose of these items. Now, some of you may be saying, but Raea, why can't I just take these to the landfill? That's what the landfill is for.
I can answer that because the landfills won't take them from most people. In our county, Montgomery County, we have a special green permit to take more than you can as a homeowner, but even that has its limit. So
Correct.
People, in my experience in Maryland and in the District of Columbia and in Virginia, they don't realize how little they're allowed to take.
That is
because
correct.
They don't have the permits that either I have at a smaller scale or you have at a much bigger scale. Is that right?
Correct. That is correct. And also, but like, for example, Prince George's County in Maryland, their landfill, Chris, has been under construction since April of 2024. The landfill has been closed for the past year and a half, and they have not been able to serve the public in any capacity. Now, they do have mobile events throughout the county to support the public, to help manage offloading their trash and materials. But guess what, Chris? Specifically, they do not take latex paint. And so then that's where we come in to assist. DC has already banned latex paint from the landfill. Fairfax County is moving on this trend. In fact, the county supervisors have already voted and instilled these net zero waste programs, which are very admirable and very lofty, so that we can divert as many materials as possible away from the landfill. However, and so paint will be banned from Fairfax County landfill in the year 2030. It is on the books.
So, folks, what she's really saying is the clock is ticking in a lot of different ways that is going to ultimately result in fewer choices for you, the homeowner, which is why you need eco-conscious companies like Orion's Attic, like Yuck Old Paint. We'll join forces. We'll take care of all the arrangements, get her out here and her crew. You don't have to do a thing. We'll take care of it. And together with you, the homeowner, or you, the executor, or you, the person who has inherited the house, or you're downsizing, we'll all three join forces and do some good for Mother Earth. Stay tuned for more videos at Orion's Attic TV.